Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for a look at our storm, which is coming through mostly Thursday night into Friday morning. Storm has shifted south of us a bit, so we are looking at all snow. We were talking about maybe even the chances of sleet on yesterday morning when I looked at this. But looks like definitely the storm track has shifted well south of us. One thing I can definitely say this winter, the medium range forecast models have been terrible. And that's tough because, unfortunately, 36 to 48 hours out, there's a lot of practical weather stuff that we can look at and that a person can see that sometimes the models don't even pick up on. But really, out past that, you're really reliant on understanding what's going on in the models. And you're sort of relying on the models being somewhat consistent and helpful for you because there's just too many variables for a person to be able to really take all that into account. So all the math we try to do in the modeling is what's supposed to do that. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the models have just been really bad in the medium range, and so it's made forecasting beyond a couple days out really tough this winter. But what are you going to do? We're going to try to break things down and talk about what's going on and do the best we can with this. So we can see here's the beginning of our storm, which is once again given some more sleet and freezing rain and kind of another round of wintry weather, not nearly as bad as the last round, but another round of wintry weather for Texas, and kind of a reinforcing shot of energy that's going to come through. And also an piece of upper level energy, and this is actually what's going to cause the problem, and what is the timing on this piece of energy has shifted, and it is shoving the storm out to sea more. Kind of, it's going to come across New Jersey and then out to sea well south and east of Long Island, and then south and east of Cape Cod, and so keep us away from the heavy band of precipitation, which is going to be mostly over Connecticut, I would say, and into Rhode Island and over just north of New York City and over northern New Jersey, whereas we're going to be in kind of the light snow on the north side of that. Good thing is it'll be nice, good skiing snow. So let's look at the energy pieces. So here's your major piece of energy that is in the southern jet stream, and here's this reinforcing piece of kind of a northern jet stream energy, and they are going to combine on the two storms. But what happened is this piece is a little faster and is going faster than originally modeled, and so instead of coming in kind of behind this piece of energy and kind of causing the whole thing to tilt and reinforce this ridge across the east and cause a more deep low pressure system that really rides up the coast. Instead, it kind of kicks the whole thing out, and the whole thing kind of gets sheared out like a lot of the storms that we've had, and so it keeps a quick mover, and it kind of follows the consistent jet stream pattern right now, which is sort of, yes, it's sort of southwest to northeast, but then it kind of goes west to east as we get close to New England, and that's why we're not going to end up with as much snow as we were originally thinking. Another way to think about this is there's dry air, which is reinforcing this over New England. These are dew points, which is a measure of how cold the air would have to get in order for it to be fully saturated, for like fog to form, essentially. So the difference between the air temperature and the dew point temperature gives you an idea of relative humidity, which is the way we often talk about moisture in the atmosphere. So basically, the lower these numbers are, the less moisture there is in the air, and you can see that it's very dry over New England. We've got dew points well below zero for basically all of New England, especially northern New England. And so what has to happen is you've got to dump a lot of moisture on here just to get to the point where we are saturated with moisture. And then after that, you can start to get precipitation to build. Now, obviously, precipitation doesn't build right at the surface anyway. It builds a little above the surface. But these dew points are kind of mirrored as we go up in the atmosphere. It's very dry currently, the high pressure system that's moved in. So it's going to take a lot of time for a lot of moisture's got to be kind of pumped into our system here. And as that's happening, what's happening with the low pressure system, all that energy is sort of sliding out south of us instead of precipitating on top of us. So in terms of detail, here's what we're looking for. Light snow starts tomorrow evening between about 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. Snow falls light to moderate through Friday afternoon. There's probably going to be some times where it stops snowing entirely before it picks up again. Basically, we're looking for at light accumulations 2 to 5 inches of snow. The highest amounts would be the further south you go. So of course, Route 9, the high spots on Route 9 would be where I would expect those 5-inch amounts to be. A lot of us are going to be in that 2 to 3, maybe 4-inch, 2 to 3-inch range for a lot of us. So not really that big a deal. Could be a little bit slick Friday morning, but shouldn't be. It's kind of slow over a long period of time. So roads could be, you're gonna have to keep an eye on things, but it could be slick for a while, but it's not going to be like impassable or anything like that. Snow will be light and fluffy, so even though it won't be like a big powder day, the skiing should be great on the backside of this. Actually, even on Friday, skiing should be really nice. It'll be snowing while you're skiing. That's a lot of fun because this isn't like heavy snow, and Saturday it should still be really good skiing too. So that's the good thing we get out of it, and if you're like me, your snowbanks are really high. Anyway, we've got plenty of snow on the ground currently, not terrible that we're not going to get buried yet again. There does look like there's another storm potential. It doesn't look like a huge deal, but another storm potential early next week. So we'll talk about that as we get closer. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would encourage you to do that so that you get all my videos. And a big thank you to my patrons who help support the work that I do here.